Okay, so the next stage of the build is I need to start adding some keel supports to the stern and also at the bow. So in the kit we get some of this wood, and I'll just mark it so I can just remember the size of myself. And this is 25mm by 22mm, and these are all going to slide inside the ribs, and it's obviously just offer some more support, especially when we start to plank around this area. We've actually got something to glue and to nail on, so that makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so in the instructions they tell you to cut quite a few selections of blocks around about 30mm and then a couple at 54 as well, but I'm going to slightly do it a little bit different. It's not much different to the instructions, it's just so when we get to the stage later on we don't have quite so much timber to remove. So the first one, we need to fill in a section between there, and that's the part that's 54mm. So I'm just going to check it actually on the model, make sure that we are right. Yeah, that's 54mm. So you can't really cut it with a knife this time. This is when you do need a little craft saw. And I'm going to just about get it into my Maya block. It's probably slightly too long, but it'll should be okay. So what I'm going to do is line up that mark and start off making sure I kind of cut first and then angle it down. So that knows I'm going to get it square. Okay, so like I say, this one gets glued into place there, and then like I say, a little bit later on we have to come back and start to remove quite a bit of this material. I'm just applying the glue to pretty much 3.5 sides and just fit that one in. Okay, so for the next part of the build we now start to add in these 30mm blocks. We add them all the way right to the tip of the stern, but there's a few of them that I think are probably just slightly over long, so I'm going to need quite a bit of material out, and that's that one here. That one's going to be absolutely fine, and then these are as well. But yeah, this one here just needs a little bit taken off, so what I'm going to do is draw a pencil line, try and get up that rib, and I'm going to bring it onto the table. It's going to sit it on a piece of scrap wood so I don't kind of cut through my cutting mat. So I'm going to take the saw, and all I'm going to do where that pencil kind of line is, but I've just curved, I'm just going to use my saw and then that one can be glued next. And all it means is a bit later on when we kind of have to come in with a knife and cut this section away, we've got quite as much material to remove anymore. And then like we did before, just glue all this up. Put plenty of glue on. Don't want these coming off when we're trying to shape them. And then that one goes there. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next one. And this is the same again. This is another 30mm block. Just cut square on both ends. So all we need to do is make sure it's flush with the rib to the right of it. It's going to overlap the rib to the left of it. Yeah, but you just want it to the rib to the right. Same again when you do the next one. That wants to be flush with the rib to the right, higher than the rib to the left. Is we'll taper it then towards the stern. So all we're going to do now is just pretty much carry on putting these 30mm blocks in all the way down until we get to the stern. Okay, so we're just way down filling in all these sections, at least 30 more block, and then we've got just 2 more right on the stern. But it seems like quite a little bit strange just having quite a lot of material sticking out. So what I'm going to do with these last 2, I'm actually going to turn them onto the shorter ends and have them on the just a 22mm sticking out. So it just means there'll be a lot less material to try and remove. Pretty much as we've done before. All we do, and we paint up 3 sides. Okay, so now we've got all these blocks in. Now it's time to start taking quite a bit of it off actually. It's all going to kind of follow these ribs. So I've got a nice steel ruler, and I'm going to kind of put it, when it finally sewn stop on these ribs. And once it's kind of sits, it's happy, I'm going to draw a pencil line. And then that's showing me that we kind of need to take all this kind of material off, just to start with. Okay, so in the instructions they show you using a utility knife and kind of carving it off that way. You can do, it's easy enough. It's quite really soft material. Just take off smaller pieces. But myself personally, I'm actually going to use a nice sharp chisel and take the material off that way. So just take off little bits at a time. Don't try and take it all off in one go. And it's only got to be rough. We'll take a lot of this off. A lot more of this off actually, and the shaping with the sandpaper. Okay, so what you have to do is just keep working at that, just shaving it, and so we kind of, once you're happy, you should be able to kind of run your ruler up onto the deck. You should be able to kind of follow it all the way around. And the same thing when you get to these ones, it's just going to do the same again. You get the ruler. I'm just going to kind of let it find its own stop. Same again. And then same again with your chisel. Just take off quite a bit of this excess. I say don't worry about it if you go too low. It's only for support and strength. Okay, so I'm pretty much going to work all this way down and smooth it all off, and then we'll come back. Okay, so like I said, once you've been shaving and carving around about 5 minutes, you should kind of be able to almost get all the ribs touching. Still got a high spot kind of there, so I just know I need to kind of come back in and remove some more material. But once you've kind of got it all nice and flat and you're happy with it, then you just get your sanding block in, and we'll start to just take off some more. Okay, so this side's all nicely sanded. Quite tricky. It's not the easiest wood in the world to sand, but it's fine. I've had a couple of chips, and where I just had a couple of chips, I just filled it with a little bit of sawdust and wood glue, so that's all fine. So like I said, all you want to do is just kind of get one of the planks that I'm going to be fitting later, and you can kind of run it down, and you can just check for any high spots, and that looks pretty much okay. To say it's not even been faired yet. Just once we fit the decks, and it's all going to be faired to the stern and the bow, but it's already, I'd say, about 95% there. Okay, so all I've got to do now, I've got to do the same on the opposite side. I've got to do the same on the bow. Then the next video we'll start fitting all this